Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be budgeting for the month of June. But before I go into the budgeting, there are 4 financial priorities that I need to keep in mind as I do my budget. So I would like to share that first and then we'll go into the budgeting. Firstly, for my emergency fund, I want to focus on that first. If you are somebody who watches my videos consistently, you may know that this year I have a goal of depositing 24,000 rupees into my emergency fund. And I have planned on achieving that by depositing 2,000 rupees into my emergency fund each month. But now I feel like firstly I'll achieve that and then I'll focus on the rest of the goal. My emergency fund is a subcategory of my savings and investment, and basically the way I used to budget was I would take out 10% of my income and then put 2,000 into my emergency fund, 2,000 into my investment, and then the rest of the money would go into my provident fund. But now, since I want to focus more on my emergency fund, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to take 10% of my income to put into my savings and investment category, and then out of that I will deposit whatever is needed to deposit into my SIPs, and then the rest of the money will go into my emergency fund. Up to the month of May, I have been able to deposit 10,000 rupees already into my emergency fund. Now I'm working on putting 14,000 rupees into it. The second priority is, from the month of June, I've decided to invest 2,100 rupees into my SIP instead of the 2,000 rupees that I used to invest each month. I have 2 SIPs and I deposit 1,000 rupees into each of my SIPs every month. Recently, I watched a video by Pranjal Kamra where he suggested that if you want your money to grow, if you want to have good returns with your investment, one way is by increasing 10% of the amount you're depositing into your SIP every year. So I'm trying to implement that into my investment as well. I started investing in 2023 and at first I started putting an SIP into one mutual fund, that's 1,000 rupees. And then in 2024, I also started putting away 1,000 rupees into another mutual fund. So these are index funds. And according to what Pranjal Kamra says, in 2024, I sort of increased 10% of the money that I was putting into the first mutual fund where I started putting 1,000 rupees in 2023. Since I didn't do that in the month of January, I have decided to do that from the month of June. So that's the second one. The third priority for this month is I have decided that for my health and medical sinking fund, I will be depositing a lot more money than I usually do. I have been unwell for 1.5 months now. I have this cough and cold that is not going away. So I went to the ENT specialist and he checked me and he told me that I have chronic pharyngitis. So I am under medication now. And then my fourth and the last priority for the month is, in the month of June, one of our dogs, we have 3 dogs. So out of that, one of the dogs, he has both of his vaccinations on this month. So I need to put away some money into my pet's sinking fund as well. I do have some money in my pet sinking fund, but I want to put a little bit more so that I don't fall short of it. So these are the 4 priorities that I have kept in mind as I did my budget for the month of June. Now coming to my budgeting part, I had already shot this video and I was about to edit it and I realized that there was no audio. So I'm reshooting it again. So everything has been already written down. I have to go to work, but I wanted to put this video out as soon as possible. So I'm redoing it again. The amount that I'm budgeting with in the month of June is from work. The amount is 32,200. This always remains the same. And then from my private practice, I paid myself 42,990. So the total is 75,190 rupees. And for this month, this is how I have divided the percentages. I do budget using percentages. So for savings and investment, every month it is the same. I set aside 10% of my income into it. And then for fixed costs and utilities, I have put 56% of my income. And then for sinking fund, I have allocated 9% of my income, and into my guilt-free spending, I have allocated 25%. So for savings and investment, 10% of 75,190 is 7,520 rupees. Out of that, what I've done is into my SIP, I have set aside 2,100. Let's see, 7,520. Into my SIP, I have allocated 2,100. So I have a remaining amount of 5,420, and that's what I have put into my emergency fund. And I have not allocated anything into my provident fund. And into my fixed costs and utilities, 56% of 75,190 rupees is 42,170 rupees. Into insurance, I always put 2,460. It doesn't change. Siblings fund always gets 1,000. Room rent is always the same as well, 4,500. Personal loan EMI is 13,615. Into my LIC loan, I always allocate 1,000 rupees. This is the minimum deposit, and if I have anything extra, I put it aside. You can already see that I put extra, but let's go in a sequence wise. I'll act like I didn't do the budget before. And into ration, I always allocate 3,000 rupees. Subscription gets 1,800. Petrol will be getting 3,000 rupees. I'm putting 3,000 rupees and not 3,500 like I usually do, because I just want to see if 3,000 is going to be enough. And it's the beginning of the month now, and I have more than half of the tank filled up, so I think 3,000 should do for the month of June. For food and groceries, I allocated 5,000, and into clothes I put 3,500 this time, because I gave away a lot of my clothes and I am thinking of buying some trousers for work. Myntra has a sale, and so I am going to take advantage of that sale. That's why I'm putting 3,500. And then I have a remaining balance of 3,295 rupees. I wish it was 32,000. And I have put that extra remaining amount as an extra debt payment. So 1,000 plus 3,295. I am going to be able to pay off 4,295 rupees of my LIC loan. Now, when I come to the sinking funds, basically every month I set aside 5% of my income into my sinking funds. But for this month, because I have to keep in mind that I need money for my health and medical, I need money for my pets vaccination, so I have allocated 9%. 9% of this total income is 6,700. And out of that, I am allocating 1,200 into car maintenance, 1,500 into pets. Medical gets 3,000. So I am left with 1,000 that goes into my vacation sinking fund. Lastly, into my guilt-free expenses, I am allocating 25% of my total income. Now, if I do the math, 75,190 rupees minus savings and investment was 7,520. Minus fixed costs and utilities was 42,170, minus sinking fund was 6,700. I have a remaining balance of 18,800 rupees. I am sitting in front of my window. The windows are open and it's starting to rain, and my mother's chicken coop is just nearby, so there might be a lot of noise, and I'm sorry about that. So I'm left with 18,800 rupees for my guilt-free expenses, and I know that this amount is very big, but I think one has to be true to oneself. When I try to work within a really small amount, I start to spend a lot of money. So what I'm doing is, I looked at all of my expenses for the month, and I feel like if I give myself around 20,000 or an amount around 20,000, I tend to stay under budget. I think this is my pattern of spending. This is how I spend money. So that's why I am giving this much. Now my focus is to earn a little bit more if I can make more money. So that's my main focus. I've tried to cut down on spending, but I start to feel too restrictive, and that's something that I don't want to do. Feeling restrictive kind of leads to more expenses. So I've given myself 18,800. I don't have the intention of spending all of this money. If there's money remaining by the end of the month, I will either carry over to the next month, or I may put it into my debt payment. I'll see what I can do. But for now, I have allocated 25% of my income into guilt-free expenses. My guilt-free expenses have two categories basically. One is beauty, and I have categorized it differently as beauty here because I like getting massages. I like getting facials. So every month I try to get a facial. Massage is something that happens it happens very rarely. So for beauty, I have allocated 3,000 rupees. And then I have a remaining balance of 15,800 rupees. And that is what I'm putting into my others or miscellaneous. This will fund for eating out, for fun activities, for gifting or giving, or even for household activities. There's also one reason why I am okay with it is because there is a baking class that I want to attend, but I am contemplating on should I or should I not, because they are charging 4,500 rupees for a day's workshop, and I feel like one day workshop and charging it for 4,500 is a little bit too much. So I've not made up my mind yet. I'll see if I want to or not. My friends and my sister, they advised me on You can always learn baking bread from YouTube. Why not invest that 4,500 on buying the pans that you'll be needing for baking? I have an oven, but I've not used it for a very long time now. But they told me that you buy the ingredients with that money, you buy the pans with that money. You can always learn it for free in YouTube, and I feel like that makes sense. So I'll see what I do with it. This is the budget for June, and I hope that you have also done your budget already for the month of June. And thank you so much if you're still here watching. Please do not forget to click the like button. And if you're somebody who enjoys watching other people budget with their money, do consider subscribing. I hope to see you soon in my next video. That will be a May budget closeout. Until then, take care and bye-bye.